awesome. Well, she pretty much summed it up, so I'm just going to say goodbye. Means, motive, and opportunity. How many here watch CSI? Or any of those types of shows? Means, motive, and opportunity. Today, you got a big dose of all three, didn't you? The means, you know, you can invest with somebody else's money or somebody else's credit, can't you? Our motive is we're all here because we all have the same motive. We want to grow as business people. The opportunities, just the last gentleman and the opportunities he shared with us and the information on Biloxi should be enough to get some of us excited, shouldn't it? How many here have ever, you know, with what Louis and I do, for whatever reason, we work a lot with people in real estate and mortgage lending. So there's some names that I'm familiar with now, like Mike Ferry. Who ever heard of Mike Ferry? He's very big in real estate training, and he's developed some phenomenal leaders, hasn't he? And there's scripts and procedures that have proven to work because people have become millionaires using them. But how come people don't? Means, motive, and opportunity, we got a bucket load of today. Some of us are going to exercise the choice to pursue them, and some of us won't. And my job is to help people understand why they do the things they do. The laws of cause and effect that regulate this universe reside inside of us as well. We're creatures that have three dimensions. We're body, we are soul, and we are spirit. And one will affect the other. Excellence in one does not always guarantee excellence in the others. But a lack in one will compromise all three. Does that make sense? Yeah. Our spirit man, I'm just going to give this briefly because usually this is a 2 or 3 hour piece. But briefly, our spirit is that which we relate to our universe and our environment in an ethereal sense. For me, I'm a Christian, I believe in the Bible, but I'm not here to preach to you. But that's where I derive my source and my inspiration. If you're a Muslim, then it's the Quran. But you have to be true to that spiritual sense, to be grounded and confident. Was self-confidence come from? People that I had lunch with don't answer that. Where does self-confidence come from? Anybody want to tell me? It comes from one place. It comes from self-esteem. And vice versa. Your self-esteem comes from your self-confidence. Does that make sense? It's a cycle. We have self-confidence because we have self-esteem because we've done the things that we know we're supposed to do on a day-by-day basis. That spiritual component is very important. Our physical bodies are important as well. You know, if we have a hangover, how well are we going to be able to perform our duties the next day? This is not the bartender speaking now. This is the nun. If we have a hangover, can we execute the things we know we need to execute? If we're living on fast food and junk food and processed foods, are we really think we're going to have the energy that we need to do the things that we do? Of course not. It's just common sense at this point. The part and the piece that's probably most important is the soul. Most of us don't understand the three components of the soul and how they interrelate with each other. Our soul is made up of our mind, our will, and our emotions. We all know what our mind is. We all know what our emotions are. Which should be in control of the soul, do you think? Anybody want to tell me? Our mind, our will, and our emotions. Mind. When we buy an automobile, what kind of decision is it? It's an emotional decision, isn't it? And we buy a home that we want to live in. There's a certain amount of logic based on what we can and can't afford. But besides that, what kind of decision is it? It's emotional. When it comes to our mate and we fall in love, what kind of decision is that? And it's not that there isn't a time. It's not that there isn't a time for emotions. But in the business world and in the world of excellence, what has to become in charge of our soul is our will. See, our will is the hand that holds the hammer, which is our emotion. And of emotions, there's only two. Anybody want to tell me what the two emotions are?
Fear.
Love and fear. There's only two.